And good evening and welcome to Anime-Zing Radio here, everyone. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I'm your host, Doug Engler. Joining me in the co-host seat, as always, is our good friend, Mr. Darren Starling.
Hello.
A little bit different setup tonight. I am on the road, currently in McDonough, Georgia, waiting to start my new job training tomorrow afternoon. And that being the case, I didn't have the time or energy to bring in the tripod and everything to set up the camera. So I'm not putting the camera on tonight.
You took a page out of my book.
Pretty much. We do want to thank Darren wholeheartedly for being gracious and opening up his home to me last night for the breaking up the 13-hour drive, 14-hour drive to where I drove half the trip to Darren's house and then the other half of the trip today and to get out here. I'm set up in a nice hotel, so I want to thank my new employer for that, and excited to see where the opportunity takes me.
Congratulations once again.
Thank you. And hello, Nunya. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it tonight or not, but I figured, I'm in the hotel. I'm somewhat rested from a long drive with a lot of idiots on the highway. And, I knew Angela was going to be a little bit late joining tonight because this was her D&D night. One Sunday a month, she has a big D&D session that she does, so knowing that was tonight, I couldn't leave our wonderful fans out there hanging. So had to definitely join in tonight, talk a little bit about how excited I am about everything going on. It's been a whirlwind for the last few weeks. But before we forget, we want to thank everybody out there and thank our sponsors, Home Circle Media, for the latest and greatest in anime gear, everything from pens, pencils, stationery, and officially licensed art books. Be sure to check out homecirclemedia.com today or look for them at an upcoming convention near you. We're also brought to you by Casey Fox. For all of your artwork, cosplay, and photography needs, be sure to check out Casey Fox. That's KAYCIFOXX on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We're also brought to you by Triple S Lawn Care.
Yep.
If you're down in the Raleigh-Durham area and you need lawn care, look Darren up. I'll give you competitive quotes, awesome lawn care services, and everything in between. So be sure to check out what Darren has to offer with his Triple S Lawn Care.
I hope I can meet your expectations.
But it's we're kind of the passing of the torches here. The spring season has ended. The summer season is starting to get into full swing. And I know last week we touched a little bit about some of the shows that's coming out, some of the stuff that we have thought about that we might watch or might not watch. And some episodes have dropped, some shows have dropped their first episodes. And I know you've been so busy, Darren, that you haven't really had a chance to watch anything of the new season that has come out yet.
Yep. Unfortunately.
I did start Classroom for Heroes a little bit earlier today. The first episode dropped today in Japanese. And it doesn't... The funny thing is, on Crunchyroll, it doesn't even give you a synopsis of the show. Basically, Hero, from what I'm gathering, the Hero and Demon King battle to where they both land what looks to be a fatal final blow on each other simultaneously. And that's the opening sequence to episode 1. And then the next thing you see, you're in a school. A lot of, school kids having their typical morning greetings of hello, all that stuff. And this strange kid with white and black hair, half white, half black hair, standing there just being like, so this is what normal people do. And the story just kind of takes off from there. And it's interesting. I will say that there is fan service. So for those of you who are looking for a new fan servicey show, this one could be right up your alley. And it seems interesting thus far. And good evening, Mario. I hope everybody out there is having a wonderful weekend. From all the traveling, my nose has been running and been, just the nasal drip has me coughing and stuff. So if I cough a lot tonight, I do apologize. I'm not getting sick. It's just the typical allergy season that's driving me insane.
I can relate.
The other show that I watched is one that I'm going to go into this like an open book. I'm expecting this show to be absolutely stupid, ridiculous, and something I'm going to make fun of. And that's the vending machine isekai.
We have a history of going into shows with expecting nothing out of them and then getting at least something redeemable out of them.
No, Nunya. The first one that I was talking about is called Classroom for Heroes. It's about a school that is trying to train the next generation of heroes, trying to pull the best talents out of everybody, and a new transfer student comes in. Now, apparently is extremely OP because I'm guessing from what I saw in the first episode, he is the hero that defeated the previous Demon King, but he's a kid and has to go to school because the new head of the school and the new headmaster wants to try to revive his abilities and talents. As far as the other one that I'm talking about, I'm going into the vending machine isekai with the mindset that don't expect much. It's probably going to be crap, like most isekais. And then I watched the first episode. And it's as ridiculous, starts off as ridiculous as you'd expect. A guy riding behind a truck hauling a vending machine. The strap starts breaking. The guy who is infatuated with vending machines, just riding behind this, ends up crashing and getting crushed and killed by the falling vending machine, is then wakes up in a new land as a vending machine. He discovers he's got a certain amount of points that he can use to change out the items inside the vending machine that he can sell.
It's an interesting concept.
And he figures out that he can sell hot food, cold food, and it's all stuff from his original world that people in the new world didn't know existed. And when he wakes up, he realizes he's out by a lake, and these frog demon things come out and start attacking him and smashing him with clubs, and he starts taking damage. But he can use points to put up a protective barrier around himself and only allow certain types of people through the barrier to be able to purchase wares. But that costs points, and once he's out of points, he loses his life. And he's also able to repair himself from the damage that was done using up points and things of that nature. And the way that he's able to regain points is people have to purchase items. And for every 100 yen, he gains 1 point. And then when he converts, he's able to use points to convert the money that people can spend to that world's money instead of Japanese money and stuff like that. So there's some intricacies in there already that make it kind of interesting. And I hate saying that because I want to go into this just to say that it's crap and laugh at it. But it was really actually kind of entertaining. And I hate the fact that I was entertained by this. I have a feeling that this is going to be a show that I like, genuinely because it turns out to be a halfway decent show for an isekai. But I will let you make your own determination, Darren, when you go and watch it. I already know Angela ain't going to watch it. She's already said no. But you had a few shows on that you were hoping to watch this season. Also, were you able to catch up on any of the shows from last season that you wanted to try to finish up?
No, that's the thing. I've literally been so busy that I ain't had time for much of anything.
I know we had a little bit of fun last night when I got out to Darren's house, and I'll post a picture later on our Facebook page for those of you who want proof that Darren does exist.
I'm more I'm more than just a hidden face.
And he's more than just, anime figures that can expose their boobaliciousness.
Hey, don't forget the one I have, she's flat as a board.
Hello, everybody.
And on that note, hello, Angela. The timing on that was impeccable.
What did I miss?
The fact that I exist.
Fair.
We were just talking about Darren like not going on camera, and usually if he turns his camera on, it's to show off the anime figures and some of the ones that can lose their tops. And he goes, "Yeah, one of them's flat as a board." And all of a sudden, I hear, "Hello, everybody." So the timing on that was like, you can't plan this stuff.
No, you cannot.
Mm-hmm.
And as I told the audience out there, no camera for me tonight due to the fact that, well, frankly, after about 15 hours of driving in the last 2 days and driving probably about 1,500 miles in the last week, I didn't feel like going down to the car and grabbing the tripod and camera from the camera bag or from the laptop bag. So it's like, screw it.
Fair enough.
So how is everybody tonight? I know, Angela, you had wanted proof when I got down to Darren, so he sent you the photo. Were you surprised?
I was. Did you guys have a good time?
We did. Darren brought me out to a friend of his who opened a restaurant out there. So his friend was celebrating their 1-year anniversary with live music and good food and thunderstorms, and I got the full North Carolina welcome.
Excellent.
Yep. And then on the way home, because he lives right down the road from me, we stopped by a former guest on the show, my friend Matt, and chatted with him for like an hour and a half or so?
Probably hour and a half. We talked about a bunch of different anime stuff and VTubers and...
Speaking of VTubers, RTX is going on this weekend, and it was announced that Ruby Rose is going to be an official VTuber now, aka the character of Ruby.
Oh, sweet. And Angela is going to be portraying it.
No, I am not. No, but I saw that was announced and then posted on various Rooster Teeth and Ruby related social medias. So for those interested in the VTuber stuff, there you have it.
Yeah. Lots of good VTubers, and VTubers have become extremely popular as of late. And it's been kind of crazy to see just how much of a boom VTubing has gotten in the last year or so. uh, it was fun having Kaya Tanu on, and I know I mentioned before that he's got his stuff up and going again, and he streams on his Twitch channel from time to time. I've started following a few other ones thanks to like YouTube shorts of like perfectly timed VTuber moments and stuff when they're playing video games and random stuff happens, or they
Yep.
make a random comment and somebody puts a funny soundbite in there. And talking with Matt, Darren's friend, because he's getting into that, it was interesting to watch a video of Shy Lily and him just be like, people are dumping a lot of money right now. She's making bank by people just doing those fart sound effects and the random comments.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where
People have more money than sense.
um yes, but also if there's a market for it. I mean, we kind of joked about some of that last week, but
Yeah.
but if people but entered entered especially, I'm wondering, the entertainment industry as a whole has been evolving greatly over the past, we'll call it, decade.
Oh, yeah.
And I think
Mhm.
short form content and VTubers is just the next evolutions.
And I think a lot of that also extended from the pandemic of people couldn't leave their house, so they had to figure out ways of entertaining themselves and
Yep.
finding forms of entertainment. And
And
so
and
streaming, gamers,
a li-
VTubers
and
blew
a
up.
little bit before that, something that kind of got touched on during one of the press panels at Anime Boston, that whole internet media, the whole new media, just people doing things online.
Oh yeah, it's funny because talking to people nowadays. Growing up, I had cable, and everything was on TV, and now everything it's like. I hear people say cable is so expensive. I can just get most of what I want to watch on a streaming site for 10-15 bucks per site, and
Well, the thing is what a lot of people do is basically get a group together. One person pays for Netflix, one person pays for Hulu, one person pays for Disney, and so on and so forth. And all the passwords are shared, so any one person is only paying, we'll call it $15 a month,
yeah.
depending on the plan. And because cable's expensive, if you add up the costs of all the services, yeah, you're going to be paying pretty close to that. But if you're only paying for a couple of them, and especially when you can stream anything and everything so much more than what you could get on demand.
Yeah. Darren was also nice enough to give me the tour of his home, and also we made the exchange where I brought some stuff for Darren. He finally got the Anime Boston posters from High Dive. He got the Kurumi figure, and he finally
Yay!
got business cards. Good evening,
Yes.
Ross.
Hi, Ross.
And I've got the autograph cyan picture from Bryn. And again, I thank Darren for that. That was awesome.
You're very welcome.
And one thing that we had talked about when Darren and I were driving around a little bit, talking about some of the show stuff and looking back at the history of AZR, man, we should, instead of spending 6 years on Blog Talk, we should have just jumped on YouTube. We probably wouldn't even need jobs. Maybe making enough money from doing this on YouTube to not have to worry about Darren working 2 jobs and you switching careers and me switching careers.
Well,
But that's saying that the show takes off and we end up hitting trash day status.
I mean, we can work to that point.
And we were trash taste before trash taste. Somebody's
For
gonna cut
sure.
that. That's gonna become a short, and we're gonna start getting crap from
Oh, God.
trash taste fans.
Uh,
Watch.
wait,
Bring
aren't
it
we all
on.
trash taste fans ourselves?
We are. That's why I keep saying stuff like that to try to get their
Um,
attention, so they'll come and be guests on the show.
Yep.
I mean, they were just at AX.
did you guys see their 4th of July special?
Nope.
Yeah, that was funny.
It was so stupid, but so hilarious.
I think the funniest part about it is the fact that they went in making fun of shooting guns and came out being like, "Damn, that was fun. I want to do that again."
Yep. Um. So to so one of the things I did on my day on my during my week off was I went to the Museum of Fine Arts because they had a special exhibit of a Japanese artist, let me see. I'm gonna butcher this pronunciation so poorly.
Welcome to my world.
Uh, Hasake. His art was on display as well as the people who influenced him and the people he influenced. And there was an entire wall of how this artist influenced manga from Yu Yu Hakusho to One Piece.
That's pretty cool. I saw some of the pictures you had put up.
I did not put up a picture. I did not take a picture of that because that was towards the end, like towards the exit into the gift shop. But that was really cool to see how artist from this artist influenced everything for generations down to like manga we see today.
That is kind of crazy to think about.
But hey, go figure. Go figure. I like the old Japanese style art. But that was pretty cool. That was my day Friday.
My day Friday was
Driving.
no Friday was unloading a U-Haul into storage, driving through a torrential downpour through flash flooding. That was probably the worst flash flooding I've ever seen in my life.
Oh no.
Uh, in the Reading area of the skies opened up, and in 20 minutes there was probably 8 to 12 inches of water running across a main 4-lane thoroughfare. Um, to the point where it was higher than some of the big flatbed wreckers front bumper. The water was going over that. It was at the bottom of a do not enter sign. And there were stranded cars at intersections all over the place. And here I am in a big ass U-Haul with a trailer, just moseying through. Do 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 do.
Um, I'm gonna post Ross's comment. Speaking of artists, did you hear what happened to Erica Linebacker, the voice actor? She was forced to. No, I did not hear about that. But forced to delete social media is kind of a big deal. I think maybe.
Hmm.
But
No, I'm wondering if it was Erica Harlacker and not Linebacker.
probably I'm reading what's written. I'm reading what's
Oh, I
written,
know.
not uh and if that auto corrected, that's funny, but I do not know what Ross is talking about. So Ross, if you wanna
Enlighten us.
enlighten us, that would be most appreciated. Um I could go otherwise I could go on a ramble about the social media stuff that's going on, broadly generalizing with if y'all basically the downward spiral of Twitter, the creation the not creation, the implementation of threads and blue sky and What is going on here?
I'm trying. Genshin Impact Pokemon star facing allegations of inappropriate conduct with fans.
Oh boy.
And this is coming from comicbook.com. Is where I found an article, and that's going back to February 8th, 2023.
Well, that's not good.
By voice actor Elliot Gindi on Twitter. Oh, that's one that we already had heard about. Oh, this was just a story about people commenting about Elliot Gindi's comments, which that's one that we'd heard about way back when. I don't know anything about this new one.
Okay, Ross actually gave us an answer.
Voice actress who did Futaba in Persona series had to delete Twitter because her voice was used in an AI song cover.
Oh boy.
So it's not even something she did. It's the issue that we're running into with AI.
I wish I
And
could say I was surprised by that. Oh, and Nunya Business adds, I heard it was people harassing her for not appreciating her voice being used without permission.
that gets into a very gray area because when you're a person that's whose work is out there on social media or media in general, whether it's TV, movies, anime, whatever, music, games, whatever, people have access to your voice. And most of these people make money, especially the voice actors make money on the work that they produce using their voice. Their voice is their tool. So they have every right to be upset about somebody using their voice without proper consent. But at the same point in time, your voice is out there. Anybody can go back through any Anime-Zing radio video that is up on YouTube and take our voices, put it to AI, and change anything or create stuff. It's kind of scary, the world that we're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Granted, that's kind of scary.
Now, when you think of it and the general public doesn't look at it that way. The average fan is just like, oh, cool. I think it's kind of neat that I can go on my phone and download an app, and I now can pretend I'm talking to this particular anime character, and it's their actual voice, whether it's a Japanese voice, a Russian voice, English voice. It doesn't make a difference. And as
And
Nunya says,
yep. Nunya Business is adding, for voices, I think it's similar to copywriting. And that's, again, copyright law. There are, in fact, while there's it gets for some stuff it gets into gray areas because that's where fan art comes into play. Also, arguably, that's where fair use comes into play.
yeah. And it's just crazy to think that it's crazy and it's scary to think. Okay, well, we talk about how entertainment industry has changed and how we view media has changed. Now we're going to have to worry about what we say, do, any pictures we put out on social media. What is going to be used in the future against everybody. You don't think about that. You look at like college kids go to a party and post silly and stupid pictures of stuff that they're doing, and you know, not and they may have done that back in the early days of, and we're going to age ourselves here for anybody who knows these, MySpace, early Facebook, and now that those pictures are
Or
up
dating
there,
myself even further, almost further, live journal.
LiveJournal, you know, America Online. Like any pictures that's on the internet that people can just search and find of stuff that you've put up, and that years later can come back, and it's sad, but you could lose a job or not get hired because of stuff that you've posted or stuff that people have seen online that you've either commented on or posted pictures of. And it's not uncommon for employers to do their research. Okay, this person has applied to work for my company. Let's
Yep.
part of a background check may include, let's check social media. And Ross says he's going to get the shot version of the article for us. But it says Lindbeck had publicly asked for the video to be removed, and the original post was deleted from YouTube. However, plenty of channels have since reposted the AI cover, and many more Twitter users pushed
Back on her original request with criticism leading to her removing the account entirely. And Mario Ross coming in clutch once again. Hello,
Yeah.
Mario.
It's great to see you again, Mario. I hope things have been going good for you. We love everybody who comes into the show on a regular basis, whether you watch us live here on YouTube or you listen to us in the podcast platforms, everywhere you can find podcasts just about. And I know Angela works very hard behind the scenes to get everything up on the podcasts.
Actually, let me see.
Darren works very hard behind the scenes to keep throwing out new anime news and stuff like that.
Yep. And Mario's agreeing that whole thing was a mess. And yeah, I'm going to agree. Feeling, based on that synopsis, I too feel for Erica.
So it's Erica Lindbeck, not Harlacker. Okay. So we're getting the proper name out there, Erica Lindbeck. I figured it was one of the two.
Well, I knew linebacker had to be an autocorrect.
Yeah. And jumping topics a little bit, released on July 3rd, Darren sent out a message saying Black Butler is getting a new season.
Yep.
What is everybody's thoughts about that?
I never watched the original, so I mean,
same.
I get the vibe that they're running out of stuff and really just looking to capitalize on what's already popular.
You know what? I'm going to liken it to the fact that we have a 5th Indiana Jones movie.
Mario says, all I can say is yes. Join us, Angela. It's not a reboot, by the way. Nope, it is a new season in the saga of Black Butler. And I still haven't gotten through season 1.
I haven't even gotten through one episode.
It is a continuation. And you know what?
That's okay, Ross.
You know what, Ross? Sorry, I just read that and I read it as I saw it, and I always assume so. I assume certain things that don't make sense are autocorrect.
But things have been crazy with a lot of news that has come out of old shows having either a continuation or somewhat of a reboot.
And that's kind of that's kind of like Yeah, it's basically like all other media. It's like nothing is original anymore, or not as much as original anymore.
Well, they've covered a whole lot of bases with the in the past, what, 50, 60 years of TV entertainment. I mean, you only have so many ideas, and it's really taking a lot of work to create original concepts, or at least present them in a different light.
True.
Which is why it seems like every isekai almost feels like a carbon copy of a previous one.
Mm-hmm.
And every now and again you get a weird one like Drifters that doesn't feel like an isekai.
Even Realist Hero didn't feel that much like an isekai. They touched on it here and there, but the storyline was basically the guy who got pulled into this other world just acting as a king and trying to make the kingdom self-sustain itself and bring a country that could suffer an immediate collapse back to being possibly one of the strongest countries on the continent. So it was, I think that was another reason that I enjoyed that one so much. But talking about reboots and old shows getting revamped, and the past couple of weeks, we've seen the announcements of not just Black Butler, but you've got Penny and Stocking and Spice and Wolf.
Two classic series, depending on how you want to look at it.
They were both classic in their own way. Whether you enjoyed them or not.
One incredibly wholesome, and one everything opposite.
Oh God.
Oh no.
I'm uh Ross is pointing out, I'm not gonna put it up on the screen, but his comment is they're making a not only a live action Bambi and Moana movie, but also a live action Aristocats.
Huh. How are they going to pull that one off?
The same. Honestly, I have a feeling either the same way they did the Lion King, or it's going to be just like the Cats movie, which is to say, live action is a stretch, more like CGI, and may or may not be quality.
And the thing that scares me about a live action Aristocats, I look back at the original, and there is so much stuff in the original Aristocats that people nowadays would find offensive that they're probably going to ruin the movie to get the offensive stuff out.
To be fair, everything that came out in the 70s, 80s, 90s, basically anything before the past 10 years, could get away with a lot more than if it were to be presented nowadays. I don't know if it's the fact because the messages aren't as subtle and we finally realize what we're there, or the fact that everyone's just offended by everything.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say hot take. Some from column A, some from column B. Uh,
Hot take, Bofuri is what I was hoping SAO would
God,
have been.
I knew you were gonna. I knew you were gonna do it too. Um,
Hot take, Plymouth is not Boston area.
God, here we go.
I did tell Darren that story.
Yeah, that's me running my mouth.
That was great. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, just before we did a live stream on day one from Rail City, Angela got talking to our table neighbors, Token with the Dead, who will be joining us at the end of July. And they said, "Oh yeah, we're from the Boston area," and Angela, being from Boston, basically goes, "Oh, whereabouts?" And he goes, "Oh, Plymouth." All you heard, and like when I say all you heard was Angela say, "That's not Boston," and stand up. Everything stopped at that moment. The table neighbors, Space Cow across from us looked. Of course, Casey Fox stopped and went, "Uh-oh." Christy looked, and it was right then. And we don't curse a lot on the show here, or I don't curse a lot on the show. But as the saying goes, that's when Token with the Dad knew they fucked up, and
No,
it was hysterical.
usually I'm the one that's cursing.
I have to say, you rarely ever hear me first.
Every now and then you get the nice Freudian slip, especially if we're like, Darren, when are you gonna cosplay as Nico?
Hell no.
Exactly. And Mario, I agree with you. Bo Fury is amazing. And then Ross is listing the movies.
That have been live actioned.
Wait,
Or Mario, that's great. We're going to put
agreed.
this up on screen for Darren. Darn it, LOL. We're getting closer every day to Darren cosplaying Nico.
No, you're getting every day. You're getting closer to me cosplaying. Period.
The fact it's Nico is just a bonus.
I mean, Snow White, a version of Snow White already had a live action. Looking at this list,
Which Snow White?
Disney.
well, Ross's list of movies, Bambi. But there was a version of Snow White, the one starring Kristen Stewart.
But getting sidetracked by the chat. Yay!
Yay!
Well, on Open Chat night, go for it.
Exactly.
Otherwise, we'd run out of stuff to talk about, and then they'd have to listen to us ramble.
Yeah, but I think that's why they tune in. I think they enjoy the nonsensical ramblings that we get into.
Or it's usually a game of make one of us react to something.
And I'm gonna have to. Ross, Ross says, guys, the only way Darren will cosplay as Nico is the day Elon Musk makes catgirls real and possible.
No, the only time you might see me do that is if I'm A, forced to, or B, don't know what the heck I'm doing. Which will never be the case.
And Nunya Business says, you mean Twilight?
The
I think
actress from Twilight, yes, but no, it's Snow White and the Huntsman, I think was the actual name of the movie.
And I was just thinking about it, going back to Mario's comment about Bo Fury being the GOAT. What show came out of nowhere and had a bigger effect, Bo Fury or Bocchi the Rock?
I would argue Bocchi the Rock had a bigger effect.
I would agree.
That being said,
Bocchi was picked up more by the community, I think, and also being more fairly recent, it's more in people's minds.
Bo Fury, when season one dropped, it was kind of a sleeper. It was underrated.
And what also hurt Bo Fury is when it dropped, the pandemic hit. So, like, the English dubbing got delayed for about 3 or 4 months. I think they were able to release it in its entirety in Japanese, but for those who only had or only wanted to watch it in English, had to wait quite a time span. That was one that started in winter and finished in fall.
Because I watched the entire thing in Japanese.
I started it in English and finished it in Japanese when the pandemic hit for obvious reasons, knowing that it wasn't gonna continue for a while. and I had to see what happened. Mario also says Bochi. Mario says it's a shame Aniplex ain't dubbing it. Mario said he waited for Bofuri to finish getting dubbed. I wish Aniplex or somebody would dub Bochi, because that would be. I'd love to see how they. I'd love to see the cast. I think I'm at the point now, and I know Darren and Angela, you guys prefer to watch it dubbed or subbed as opposed to dubbed. But I've watched so many shows in both sub and dub and we've talked to so many voice actors that it's almost gotten to the point of I wonder who would be cool to be this character or that character. You know what I mean?
Mario says the cast would be Megan Shipman as everyone.
No, I that's funny, Mario, but for Bofuri, I don't think I could see Megan playing Bochi, or not Bofuri, for Bochi. I don't think I could see Megan playing Bochi. I could see Megan, like characters at Megan's voice, I could see being more like the awkward girl who's always like, "Oh, can you give me money for food?" and da 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 da. I think she was the drummer.
And
no, she was one of the guitarists.
And Ross is saying apparently there's an anime coming out this October that is going to feel close to home. Look it up. It's called Your Experience and I'm Not.
Yes, that's one definitely on my radar. Because I fit that description, maybe.
See, I feel like for me that's backwards. But
I'm not experienced at anything. No. I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know what I'm doing, but
we have fun faking it.
6 years ago yesterday I got married. So I must have done something right.
Wait, 6 years ago yesterday you got married?
Yeah.
Happy anniversary. I didn't know that.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
It took a minute to register. I'm like, wait, did I hear that right? Knowing that meant you got married after Leanne and I did. Because we just celebrated 7 years in June.
July 8th, 2017.
Wow. So,
there's anime I need to go back and watch. Bochi might be one of them because I didn't watch that one. Thank you, Ross.
Here's a fun little question for the chat. If you could see Angela, myself, and Darren in animes, what anime and what character could you see us being? This could be dangerous to say.
Yep.
But that might be fun, and that's going to require our audience to put their thinking caps on. And if you're watching this after the fact, put comments in the put your thoughts in the comments down below the video.
You know what? Oversimplified, but not wrong, Mario.
So Angela would be Tomo.
That's another anime I do need to go back and watch. Is Tomo-chan as a girl?
Right, Darren.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even thinking that route, but as soon as Mario said that, I'm like, yeah, Tomo. That would be Angela. I'm curious what they would put Darren in.
Well, considering they don't know what I look like, for the most part.
Darren.
Darren, another world farmer. Me as Maple.
Be
Doug as
reincarnated as a train.
you know what? You know what? I'll take it. Considering I got home from my D&D session and did some ridiculous level things in character. Yeah. Maple is kind of accurate.
And Darren being landscaping and agriculture and stuff. I could see him being a farmer, one of the farming isekais.
And Doug reincarnated as a train. Yeah.
I think that sums us up pretty good, Nunya. So we'll put that up there for everybody to enjoy.
Mario says Darren would just be real estate in another world or farming.
Character Fro Kojiro from Robotics Notes.
I don't know that anime, so I can't actually be mad. But you know what? KOU.
Now there's quite a few conventions that are going on this month. Some of which, if things hadn't changed and been as hectic as they have been, I would be attending. For those of you who are in the area and are interested in going to Kineticon this year, they have one hell of a guest list again. Kineticon will be going on in Hartford, Connecticut, the weekend of July 20th through 23rd. And of the guests that they have announced include Rick Hines, Keith R.A. DeCandido, Marion G. Harmon, Daniel Payton, David Matranga, Steve Jackson, Ellen Stern, Tim Buckley, Carlos Ferrero, John St. John, Richard Epcar, Clifford Chapin, Kristen McGuire, Tazia Valenza, Doug Cockle, Susan Egan, Amalie, who had to cancel last year, is going to be making an appearance this year. Lucy Christian, Justin Cook, Valera Rodriguez, AJ Beckles, Inares Quinones, Landon McDonald, Chris Hackney, Lalia Berniz, or Berzins. Some of these names I am butchering, and I apologize to the voice actors and the guests for Kineticon. Mela Lee is going to be there. That's one I wish I could get a chance to meet. We've had her on the show. I'd love Amelie on too, for obvious reasons. Amelie was the voice of Marin, Best Girl of 2022.
Ross says Darren as Orito from This Is a Zombie. From Is This a Zombie?
Who?
Orito from Is This a Zombie?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the character because that's not the main character.
Other guests for Kineticon include Stephanie Sutherland, Sean Chiplock, Kelly Baskin, Nicholas Roy, and Ryan Bartley. So quite
an assortment.
An assortment of guests. And the people who I would love, people we've had on the show include Sean, Kelly Baskin, Mela Lee's been a guest on the show many years ago. Kristen McGuire. Would love to meet Clifford Chapin. Would love to get Amelie on the show, because how cool would it be to talk to the English voice of Marin?
But that would be awesome.
Plus, Amelie is an amazing singer in her own right. You can find some of um, her own dubs of anime songs on YouTube. And Darren has uh, Mario. I see you saying, "Watch that, please." For Is This a Zombie? Darren has the DVD set.
And Ross says for you, Doug,
Sadao
Sadao
Mao
Mudu,
from
devil is a part timer.
so Satan.
Wouldn't wouldn't that technically be me, given the fact that I have management status in fast food?
Uh, I had management status in fast food along, probably when I was your age.
And I've the most fast food I've worked in is pizza delivery and Chinese food delivery.
That's not fast food.
No, not
That's
at all.
just getting your food fast.
Not as fast as Jimmy John's. Speaking of
Well,
which, have you seen any of the commercials for Jimmy John's in other countries?
no.
No.
They're actually quite entertaining, particularly the Japanese ones.
Oh, another a fun YouTube thing we watched the other night was I don't remember the name of the channel. I think it might be Food Wars, but it's basically comparing food we get in the US to food you could get in insert other country here.
UK,
Uh,
because it was the original run was the US versus the UK. This was like 4 or 5 years ago.
well, the one we just watched was US versus China, Lay's potato chips.
Huh.
But yes, same idea. I do love the British guy. And
Um,
Mario agrees with you, Doug. Pizza is fast food.
and Ross says the reason that he chose me as Sadao Mao is Doug always being a leader type and calm to sort things out. That's why I chose that anime and character.
American food isn't going to kill you just by looking at it.
They say that, unrelated, but they did a survey and they said that if you put the picture of the food on the menu, then you're actually enticed less to eat it or order it. They say that people also pay higher prices for food that they have no visual representation of.
You know, it kind of makes sense in some cases
It
when you
does
think
make
about
sense.
when you look at, like, you go to fast food and just throwing random fast food joints out there that people know, McDonald's, which is worldwide, or Burger King or Domino's that is worldwide. You see the pictures of the food. And a lot of times you look at it and you're like, plus when you see pictures of food, especially in TV commercials and stuff, let's be 100% honest. You can go to you can see the perfect chicken burger from Bojangles on a commercial. You go to
Chicken
Bojangles,
burger, that's funny.
I'm just throwing something random out there, Darren.
The point is, you're not getting that sandwich that you see on TV. You are not getting that.
You're not getting
Oh,
that.
hell no.
It's not going to be that artistically done.
Nope.
You go to McDonald's and you get the Big Mac. You know that thing's going to be messy as all hell.
Yup.
And Ross, going back to the question of what anime characters from what shows, he says, I based all of your characters based on your personalities on how well I know you.
Which is to say, he knows you guys better than me, because...
Well, you're also the new guy, or the new girl.
Exactly.
The new kid on the block.
Yup.
But I will say that the show has definitely gotten a lot better with the addition of Angela on the show, because bringing on another point of view that's very opposite in many ways, contradicting to what Darren and I think about a lot of the times, I think has made this show more entertaining.
True. But also it's kind of interesting the fact that I watched more of what she will watch than you to her. You two are more polar opposites than her and myself.
Yeah, you're kind of like the middle ground between the two of us.
Ross, I actually had to look up the character you picked for me. It's an interesting one.
We can see. I don't know why, but I was like, I'm waiting for somebody to throw like the most random like characters out there, being like, "Oh, Angela would be this magical girl type
But
thing," or
put her as Madoka or what were the other girls' names?
or would she be what was her name? Rika from Chunibuyo?
Junie Boy. Oh my goodness. But no, I think she'd be Maury Summer. What was that girl's name?
Now we're just having fun. What ridiculous characters
Oh
could we
god.
have?
Mario says Kyoko for sure. Not that I know what show he's referring to.
Kyoko. I feel like I know. Kyoko.
And Ross
Wait,
says I
is
could
that
always
from
change.
Is This a Zombie? Because Kyoko was a magical girl, and she was actually one of my more favorite characters. Because she was psychotic. She literally stabbed the main character because she wanted to get close enough to cuddle. But he's a zombie, so it don't matter.
Oh, it's Mario says it's Madoka.
Oh.
And Ross says I could always change Darren to be the main character from Immoral Guild.
That's not an insult, really. I was just glad he didn't say one of the main characters from Interspecies Reviewers or something like that.
Yeah, Krim.
No.
You wouldn't want to be Krim?
No.
You could be the best of both worlds.
No.
Fun fact, I still haven't watched Interspecies Reviewers.
You need to.
Speaking of which, I need to message Todd to see if he's had a chance to watch that yet. Although I know he's been dealing with some health issues and stuff lately.
Oh no, I hope he's okay.
Which big shout out to Todd and Reed from Riley Ford, who helped me pack and load the U-Haul on Wednesday night before moving to Pennsylvania on Thursday. This has been quite the week. I think I've driven about 1,500 miles this week since last Friday. Not the one that just passed. Friday the week before. Between driving from New York to Pennsylvania to search for an apartment, to finding an apartment, to driving back home, to getting the U-Haul, to packing the house and loading the U-Haul, to driving back to Pennsylvania, and then driving to North Carolina yesterday, and then Georgia today. I passed by like 6 NASCAR racetracks in the last 2 days.
Yay.
And I think I'm a little bit north of Atlanta, not south of Atlanta. I think I saw it on the map wrong.
I should have had you take my truck down there. Because there's a guy that, because with how long you're going to be staying down there, there's a guy that, oh wait, never mind. I forgot. He don't do that anymore. Never mind.
Plus, I would have needed transportation back and forth from the hotel to the training center.
Ross is saying, now that I think about it, I could change Doug's character to the main character of Rail Wars.
I would not be offended by that.
There you go.
I would definitely not be offended by that, especially considering the fact that I have had a model railroad like he has. It wasn't based off of Japanese trains, obviously. It was based off of American trains, and it was a layout that my father and I had built together.
I don't know if anybody could actually come up with something to actually offend me here. I would just question certain things, depending.
It sounds like you got offended the other day. To listen to Doug talk, you were offended the other day.
What was I offended about?
Regarding the Boston thing.
Oh, no, that's just people say.
It wasn't so much of her being offended. It was her just being like
reacting.
Yeah, it was just a natural reaction, which I wish we had gotten on video. And Angela Ross says, "Please don't challenge me."
I'm not challenging anybody. Bug, get away from my screen.
Darren, what was the harpy's name from Interspecies Reviewers? Was it Murdy?
Oh my god.
Oh, Lord, you had to ask.
Okay, now to figure out how to... No. Go away, ad.
Oh, Meridi.
Meridi,
M-E-I,
that's it.
or Medri. M-E-I-D-R-I.
Oh, good. All right, so that's...
In a way, I kind of could see Angela being her.
I can agree.
Why are we putting us as characters from interspecies reviewers?
Because I brought it up earlier, and why not?
Fair.
I mean, we could do redo of Healer.
And in our AZR chat, I put a picture of her up just so you could get an idea of who she is.
Come on.
She's probably the most sensible character in the series.
Fair. All right. Da, 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 da.
And she's also one that doesn't take crap from anybody and is quick to fly off the handle and kick butt. Especially after she found out what the guys did at the puppet brothel. Now, apparently Ross already has 2 characters that could offend you. So apparently we've made a game out of this.
Okay.
This one I'm interested to hear.
All right, Ross, go right ahead. Let's see what you got. But as we wait for that, I know, Darren, you said that coming. Now, ironically, I could be attending a convention that I wasn't originally planning. Just because the way that my training falls, and on my way back home, stopping by and spending another night at Darren's house on the way back to Pennsylvania, it falls during the other local convention for Darren's area.
Yep. Raleigh SuperCon or GalaxyCon is the 28th through the 31st.
So there could be some AZR presence at SuperCon if you're out in the Raleigh area. You might see us on one of the days, depending on when I get out there and how tired I am and money and things of that nature. Poppy or Mia from Monster Musume?
Not a
Really?
show I know.
Me, I'd say she'd fit more into Mia. Poppy's just too
You
poppy.
did, yeah.
Maybe,
There's
maybe.
no way that Angela would be a Poppy. I will say that right now.
What about Rachne?
I could see her as the spider. I could see her as a spider or the mermaid chick.
I'm leaning more toward the spider.
Yeah.
Not so much not so much Sarah.
I could also see Angela being darkness from Konosuba.
Yeah. Probably the fact that she hasn't seen these, so she don't know how the characters are, is probably the most entertaining part.
Mia is a Lamia, just so you know, Ange.
Mia is what?
A Lamia. So
Meaning.
snake girl.
Okay. Meh.
And Poppy is a harpy.
Gotcha.
And
And
Rachne is a spider.
Okay.
Sarah is a centaur.
Okay. And Mero, Ross says,
Is a mermaid.
I've not seen any of these shows, so I'm just like, okay, whatever. Mario says, cannot be darkness, no way.
I love that reaction. Thank you, Mario. Kind of a hot take for the audience there. That is great. I almost want to make Angela watch some of Konosuba so she knows the darkness character.
Konosuba is one of those I'm not opposed to, but my backlog is so big that meh.
Konosuba is one of those that you probably won't watch until you're with me and Darren and we sit your ass down and okay, we're gonna put on a couple of episodes for you.
And then I'm going to retaliate by putting on a couple episodes of something ridiculous.
And that, for me, that probably wouldn't offend me.
Mario says I'm laughing so hard right now. He says when she knows, she'll run.
No, I'll just threaten him. I'll just make empty threats of violence. And the bunny girl from Big Order,
Do you know that one, Darren?
Ross.
What was that?
Bunny girl from Big Order.
Yes, I do.
You
Oh
said
my
Angela
gosh.
could be the bunny girl from Big Order.
No, that's not how that works at all.
I don't know that one.
Do you want me to spoil it for you?
Go ahead.
Timid girl with this guy. Basically, her bunny ears. He pulls them off of her. She gets pregnant, and that's literally what happened.
No. I'm not gonna say I'm offended, but just that doesn't no.
And Mario says, look, before you start her off with Konosuba, make her watch Combatants Will Be Dispatched first.
And me? How did I remind you of that show?
What show?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't. I have.
We've had a bunch of different shows recently.
And you guys are the ones throwing shows out there. I haven't brought up any in a while.
What show were you referencing just now?
I'm wondering if it was Combatants Will Be Dispatched. Have you watched that one, Darren, or no?
No.
Okay, so I'm the only one here who has watched this show.
Yep.
And I watched this show. I think the only reason I watched this show is because it was one of the first times that we were having Christy Rothrock on, and I wanted to know more of her work other than just Lulu. And seeing Rose, the cute Chimera from Combatants, I was like, oh, let me go and check this show out. Oh my God, Darren, this show is right up your alley. Oh, Big Order.
Oh, I didn't bring up Big Order. That was Ross's doing.
Yeah.
I'm just the one reading the comments out loud.
But Combatants is quite out there. I think the humor you would really enjoy, Darren. Angela would watch an episode and go, "This is too stupid. I'm not even going to waste my time watching the rest of this." Unless she falls down the rabbit hole that we all fell down for other shows that we look back and go, "Why did we watch this?"
Yeah, you guys have one. I was smart. The one you guys bring up is the one that I was smart enough to stop after one episode.
Yeah, but there was another show that you watched that you were watching as a group, and all of you hated it, but nobody said anything because you thought other people were enjoying it.
Yep.
So we all have those shows.
Agreed. I'm just this time I'm the one that's gonna bring it up. I thought you were referencing Conception.
No, I was just throwing stuff out in general, knowing that we all have those types of shows.
Well, yeah.
I wasn't even gonna say a title this time.
This time.
And for those of you who missed it early on in the show, you've heard us talk about the isekai being reincarnated as a vending machine. I have watched the first episode. And Angela missed my review of the first episode, so I'm going to talk a little bit about it again for Angela's enjoyment. She's already shaking her head.
Yep, because I got commentary about this from other people as well.
I am going to preference by saying the main reason that I wanted to watch this is because I'm expecting it to be absolutely stupid. I'm expecting it to be terrible. And I'm expecting it to be something that I gain, that I watch just for the pure and simple fact of I want to make fun of this show. After watching the first episode and seeing that there were some intricacies in there that I didn't really think about that they could throw into a show like this, and then some of the ways that he figures out that he can enhance himself as being a vending machine with the items that he sells, the way that he figures out or that he learns to communicate with people based off of the pre-programmed comments that come out of the vending machine, including hello, thank you very much, please insert money. He's able to answer yes and no questions and communicate with this girl that finds him in the middle of the woods, apparently in the middle of a dungeon. It after one episode, and I hate to say this, it's better than I thought it was going to be. And I may be looking too much into it from the intricacy side of things. And it still has the potential to be absolute dog crap. But I'm kind of enjoying it off the first episode, and I hate saying that. And I think it's one that, Angela, even if you went into it with no expectations and an open mind, you might enjoy some of the intricacies of it. And I'm not just saying that to be like, oh, watch this anime, it's great, haha, no, it's really crap. I'm saying, like, when you see, like, just watch the first episode, nothing more than just the first episode, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by some of the thought that goes into it. Yes, the concept itself is absolutely ridiculous and stupid.
I'm not sure I can get past that, I'll be honest.
But if you just watch the first episode and nothing more, I'd be curious just to get your opinion and see if your thought process, and I know that you have a different interest in many shows. You tried Call of the Night and agreed about the music was amazing, the art style was amazing, but the storyline didn't grab you, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah, no, it was it was one of those I tried. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me.
This one, I'm not going to say that the show in its entirety is for you, but I know there's times when you have get-togethers and watch pilots or episode ones of many shows.
Yeah,
This
guess
is a
what?
show.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is a show.
and I missed that gathering today.
But I was going to say, this is one of those shows that just watch the first episode and nothing more.
All I'm gonna say to that is no promises.
And Darren, I think you were curious about it.
Which one?
Vending
Sorry.
machine.
Vending machine?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to be watching that this season just because I'm curious. My curiosity knows no bounds when it comes to isekai.
And like I said, I still think that the show has the potential to go either way. Granted, episode 1 for Isekai, it was better than a lot of Isekai first episodes. And I may be, like I said before, I might be reading way too much into it at specific intricacies that I have seen within the show. But I'm pleasantly surprised by what I saw in episode 1.
Why is it always the isekai that have the weirdest concepts turn out to be better than what we're expecting? Is it because they're so different and they're a breakaway from your stereotypical isekai?
Oh my gosh.
Oh
I, I
dear.
I just happened to scroll on Facebook and Matches Malone, who is a New England area cosplayer, put up a post. Apparently, an artist that we are very good friends with passed away. Jim Taylor, who's been a guest on the show, passed away, it looks like.
Oh no, condolences to the family and friends.
Yes. Condolences here too.
And it, I mean, I hadn't talked to Jim in a while. But yeah, I don't know when he passed. Oh my god. This is wow. And ironically, somebody put a picture up of Jim Taylor holding Travel, the ocelot that I have in the car.
Oh wow. How young was he?
I'm not sure, but I'm born in 1963, so 60 years old.
60 years old. Yep.
Oh my god. Like the first convention he put on himself, Broadbrook Comic Con, Leanne had a table there. This is just what? But yeah, Matches Malone posted, pictures, and it's like, wait. And we met Jim through Rusty. That's just crazy. Uh, I don't need to take a break. Thank you for the concern, Ross. It was just it's funny because especially with social media and stuff, we hear things about uh, celebrities and people passing all the time, and a lot of times it's like it doesn't really hit hard, or it doesn't really you don't feel like it affects you. Um, yes, and just throwing celebrities who have passed out there. Robin Williams, his work, brought so much joy and emotions to a lot of people. And then when he passed, a lot of people were heartbroken by it. But it wasn't somebody that you actually knew in most cases. Jim Taylor was a fantastic artist. He, when he put on his first Comic Con, Broadway Comic Con in Connecticut years ago, we were on his list, and he only wanted to invite a few people to go to his first show, and it was like a small, just artist and local creators type of Comic Con. And the fact that he thought about us to be there was very honored by that. And I feel bad that we hadn't talked to him in a while. And as you always say, Angela, life, the universe, and everything else gets in the way a lot of times of talking with people. And I know he hadn't been to conventions in a while, and it's just kind of crazy. Wow. I
Yep.
was not expecting to see that. But thoughts and prayers go out to his friends and family, and he's in a better place now. I don't know how he was doing health wise and things of that nature. Like I said, I haven't talked to him in a while, but man, that's crazy. I guess it goes to show you, don't take things for granted. We have fun here on the show, and being serious for a moment here, but we do have a lot of fun on the show. We joke around. We've had the honor of interviewing some amazing guests and building personal connections with people at conventions and through the show that most of us will agree we never thought that we'd be able to do. But we've got to also take that time to look back and reflect on the stuff that we've been able to accomplish. And it I always thank all of you listeners and the viewers out there every week, but I really mean, it means a lot to me that you guys tune in and become a part of the show in the chat with all the comments and the questions back and forth, the guests that come on, even the people who watch or listen to the shows on podcast platforms after the fact. It means the world to me that you guys are taking even a few minutes out of a busy day to just put us on to help cheer you up or get get your mind off of life's worries and troubles and things like that. But I just don't ever want to be the type of person that no matter how famous AZR gets or how big we become as a podcast, I never want to forget where we started from.
And I'll kind of echo that and add thank you all for being so awesome and welcoming when I first came from the time I first came on the show. All the comments have been the comments and the chatter it has been fantastic.
And I remember when I'm first talking to you about coming on the show, and you've brought it up, like at Rail City and stuff, about you never imagined where, being a part of this show, the experiences that it would bring you.
No, I didn't. And and at the time we were there was a conversation we just we were just brainstorming nonsensical ideas, and then one thing led to another, and we've evolved, and the show's evolved.
And having Angela on the show, where sometimes her mouth moves faster than her brain, leads us to some epic guest questions and commentary.
Um, you know, that could have been, all things considered, that instance was probably the best possible outcome.
And I'm curious, going back to happier stuff now. It's almost like the news anchor. You read a real sad story, and then you change and turn and look at a different camera, and you have a smile. Good news for this. But I think it'd be fun for our listeners out there and our viewers to hear a little bit about your experiences since becoming a part of AZR, because I know that you came into this not fully knowing what was going on, or it sounds like it could be something fun to do, but you were even a little questioning, is it something that you'd enjoy, and you wanted to do a little bit of trial at first, but in the year plus that you've been a part of AZR, what are some of the things that you've enjoyed and that you've just really had fun being a part of?
I mean, a lot of it, just the the conversations. I mean, my taste in anime overall is so different from yours. Darren kind of has a lot more overlap with either of us than we do with each other, as has already been said. And just some of the nonsense and the bickering, it just gets so hilarious. Um, press badges for Anime Boston, that was a big one. And I mean, overall, the experiences have been amazing. I mean, being able to sit here and, you know, the like the random conversations, being able to talk to Danny Chambers about commiserating about being females in a predominantly male dominated board game hobby.
Yeah, and and talking about the press badges and stuff, I was kind of blown away when I first found out about that. And a big thank you to Gary Summers and Northeast Comic Con, who were the first convention that offered press badges to us here for Anime-Zing Radio, and really made me feel like this was going to be something special and that we were doing something good. Where a convention, granted it wasn't a convention I knew much about, but they had a couple of anime voice actors as guests that first year, which is why I reached out to go and reached out to Gary about coming on the show to promote it. And in return, he was so grateful about having the added press that he was like, "Here, I'll just give you a press pass." And I was like, "Wait, what is a press badge?" "Oh, you can come in and you can get some exclusive interviews with some of the guests." And it's like, you can do that at a convention? But conventions are smart. So people listening out there, you can't just pretend that you're a part of a press network and get free badges or nothing, because they do their research. It took me 5 years to get a press badge for Anime Boston. They're not just going to let anybody in. They go back and do their research. There was a few other conventions that I talked to. Actually, Colossal Con East was another one that I was surprised when we got press badges last year for them. Granted, it was very late that we got approved because things were kind of haywire. But talking with the press liaison with CCE, they said we went back through and wanted to make sure that you were actually like a media outlet. We wanted to make sure that you are not just people looking for free badges to a convention. So we went back and watched your press conference coverage from Anime Boston and the work you've done at Kineticon and a lot of these other conventions that you've had press at. And that's what has opened the door for us to get into other conventions as press. So it's a lot of hard work. And I know, Darren, I talked with you yesterday a little bit about we have to get you into the swing of doing press stuff at conventions in North Carolina.
I'm not taking any.
But I've shown Angela a few times about press, and I think she's about ready to try doing some press stuff herself.
I probably will next year. We'll see what happens. We'll see how the new job goes. And with my personal traveling, we're gonna see what my budget becomes for conventions. Because I have a lot of friends across the country, and a lot of them enjoy anime and conventions, and I might be able to hit up a couple of Midwest cons and stay with friends.
You can always go to North Carolina for a con in Raleigh.
Everything is up in the air right now because I'm not going to know anything until I get settled into new job and whatnot.
And that's kind of the crazy thing right now too with the show is Angela's got a new job. I've got a new job. We're still trying to talk to Darren to drop his morning job just to focus on his business, which that could happen sooner rather than later.
We'll see.
I will also say that Darren does have an impressive anime collection, especially of the DVD side of things. But man, you'd need to get more figures, dude. I'm blowing you away. And I say that jokingly. It's like I gave Darren the Kurumi figure that I'd gotten out of Data Live mystery bag. But I walked away from Rail City with 3 new figures. Granted, one's going to Angela. And a big thank you to Rick from Nerd Urbanity. Be sure to check out his stuff, nerdurbanity.com. He's got some great, not just anime figures, but if you're a collector of a lot of the older retro
Pop culture
shows, pop culture stuff, you check out what he's got. He's got some awesome stuff, and he's just really a top-notch guy. I'm so happy he won that Eric Rowland autograph picture. Uh-oh, Darren, you could be in trouble now.
Oh boy, what did I do?
Ross says, "Oh, brain just sparked an idea. I figured out an easy character Darren can cosplay so that he never has to cosplay as Nico."
Ditto? That way I can transform into anybody?
Who knows? We're waiting just for Ross's answer for that. Who is it? I'm curious. This could go any which way. I still say Krim, but Darren says no. Who would you rather if you had to cosplay Krim or Nico? Which one would you? Which one has a higher percentage?
Krim, because I don't crossplay. I don't cosplay, but the chances of me crossplaying are zero zilch. Not gonna happen.
Now, would you crossplay a female character that dresses more like a man, like a Kobayashi?
Probably not.
If I said I'd already done a crossplay, would anyone be surprised?
No.
I think more people would be surprised that I've crossplayed more than you've crossplayed. Oh my God, Ross! No. Oh my God.
No.
Ross says Nico Fuji
Neko.
no.
Fujinamiya from Masamune-kun.
Oh no.
That way you could have ketchup packets with you.
No, why Neko? No. I'd rather cosplay as Masamune.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh.
Chat, don't ever change.
I still love that. Still love the interaction. And next week, I believe we're going to have Pop Cult back as a guest. I've got to touch base with them again just to make sure that that was still a go. I know that they when they were on with us a few weeks ago, they were going to be part of a Street Fighter tournament going on. Was that in the Boston area that was going on?
What, the Street Fighter event?
Yeah,
It was in Waltham, so
in Waltham. Okay. So I think they wanted to come on and touch base about that and how that went. So we'll reach out to them again and just to make sure that they're still able to join us. Like I said, the other big guest announcement is July 30th. We're gonna have the guys from Token with the Dead. That one's gonna be an 18+ show. That one's gonna be a viewer discretion is advised, for anything could happen. For those of you who are longtime listeners of the show and remember our dear friend Julia Coelho, who anything and everything can come out of that girl's mouth, now times it by 2 and make them men. Of course, Angela hit it off with them immediately, which I knew was going to happen. But that show is going to be insane. And depending on when my work schedule actually starts at the rail yard in Altoona, I may be a part of that show, or I may not be, because that's the weekend I drive home from Georgia. So anything could happen. And Darren Ross says at least you wouldn't have to wash your underwear, based on Neko. But if you were going to dress as a Neko, I'd say you'd have to do Konako. Excuse me. Again, I apologize for all the coughing and everything. The allergies have been bad with all the rain and everything and the traveling. And I'm pretty sure that while cleaning and packing the apartment, we kicked up mold and stuff inside there. And didn't help in the fact of, the allergies not being the greatest. But looking ahead, like I said, we've got a couple of guests that are going to be coming on. I know that there's going to be a lot of shows where I won't be a part of, but also that means that there's the potential for more midweek stuff. So when I do have days off, I could still do possibly a midweek show. Told Darren to be at the ready that at any point in time I could be like, hey, let's do it. I'm going to do a show tonight just talking about random crap. You in?
oh,
Oh my God. And Darren, we got Ross going now.
yes, we did.
You still there, Darren? I think we might have lost him.
I am inclined to agree.
Which, hey, he made it, until the last 15, 20 minutes of the show. So that's pretty good for him. But if you can hear us, Ross says he is picturing you now cosplaying as Cinnamon from Nekopara. I'm not sure. Would Ross be Cinnamon or? I don't think he wouldn't be Coconut.
I don't.
I think Ross says I made him rage quit.
No, actually, I heard voices on his end, so I think he's off off screen dealing with something.
He could be talking with his mom, which I had the honor to meet his mom while I was there last night as well. So, but lots of craziness. I know tonight was kind of a very off the wall type of show from what we normally do because didn't have a lot of stuff planned. I'm still somewhat car lagged from all the driving, and
And Ross says no, but I could see him being vanilla or maple.
I could see him being more chocolate than vanilla.
Oh, boy.
Angela's like, I have no clue who any of these characters are, so I'm just gonna stay out of it.
Pretty much. That's where I'm at.
Now you were talking a little bit earlier about having the game night and that you did some really crazy things in the game. What for our D&D listeners out there, what is the character that you are using in this particular campaign, and what is this stuff you got away with?
Well, this particular campaign, it's a for all intents and purposes a superhero campaign, and I'm playing a character that is ultimately a ninja style character. So a ninja style character with a very Japanese background because it's set in pre World War II New York City. Well, New York City. And so we're running around in pre World War II basically as superheroes trying to prevent the Nazis from doing things. And it's kind of hilarious. And we're basically in a we basically found the tomb of a Japanese emperor, and I was crawling around inside on a ceiling and preventing enemies from attacking us. Silliness, which is the point. Uh, Ross, yes, this particular basically there's a lot of this particular campaign that I'm playing in is not a high fantasy setting like most D&D. This is a very uh realistic historical setting. Doug, you still nope, Doug's muted as well. Doug, you with us?
I'm still here. Sorry. I had a coughing fit and I started talking and didn't realize I was still muted. Whoops.
Ah.
But yeah, as I saw Ross say, no, Chocula has ADHD. She can't focus for 1 second. That would be you, referring to me and my shiny object syndrome. And but that did sound quite interesting. I don't think I've asked you much about this particular campaign and this has been going on for a while, hasn't it?
This it's once every 4 weeks, but so it's been going on for for like 6 or 8 months now, I think. Maybe longer.
Now,
No,
have you had
it started like yeah, no, I think it started March, maybe April.
now have you had any of your fellow adventurers in the or the people in there, have you had any of them make big mistakes where there's been some detrimental or almost life losses because of bad rolls or the dice not
Oh,
going your way?
that happens all the time. In what we all have superpowers. Uh, One of our players, their superpower is the ability to basically basically their stomach is a pocket dimension that can store up to a certain amount of mass and weight.
So, in other
And
words, fat gum.
yes, and Fat Gum is very similar, but not. Um, but what happened was we grabbed a landmine literally about 2 seconds from exploding, stored it, and then when we tried to use it, so when we tried to use it later, the die roll to throw the landmine and actually have it blow up an enemy was a botch. So they almost blew up themselves. Black hole, yeah, that's also accurate. But we've all got some crazy it's it's nuts. Like the amount of ridiculous things we've done. In one session I did ghost I was basically surfing on top of a car while it was moving.
I can only imagine the stuff that you've gotten away with thanks to the RPG world and the dice rolls.
Um Doug, I'm gonna if you have time Wednesday night, I'm gonna suggest you watch one of my games is being streamed. I'll send you the link if you're around. Check it out,
All right.
and that's gonna be ridiculousness. Different group, but it's still but the joke of the campaign is how many anime tropes can we fit in a session?
How many anime tropes can you fit in a session? So, who's getting isekai'd?
Um, we've come close to isekaiing the Kanku more than once.
And is this going to be a long running shonen campaign, or is it going to be?
This one. It was every week for about a year, and then we hit chapter break, and chapter 2 is once a month.
Okay.
And
And
so
then you're going to end up getting to the final season, part 1,
oh
part
my
2.
god, no.
It might end by the year 2030. Yeah.
Well, right now we're at the point where it's multiple different campaigns, but are all at the point, but it's all in the same universe. So we've been talking about doing crossovers with the different groups when everybody gets to a certain point.
That could be fun. And when do you bring Maple back?
Maple was built for a one shot. I don't know if I'll ever get to play Maple again.
But you could have fun with her in the longer running.
Oh, I definitely could. But I also, because of like copyright and other stuff, would have to be careful about, or I'd have to rename her before playing her on a live streamed game.
Oh, yeah. Hello, John.
And Ross says, forgot to mention this earlier. Supposedly Elizabeth Banks is making an adult Flintstones cartoon. And on that note, like something similar, did you see the Suicide Squad's getting an isekai?
I did see that, and Darren had messaged me about that, and I made a post up on Facebook and had to tag Giovanni in to be like, hey, you should audition for this. You have to English dub it.
Hi, John. Good to see you. Better late than never.
Hoping that that you're having a good weekend. Hoping things are going good for you today, John. Thank you again, as Angela said, for tuning in. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. This has been a weird show, partially because I am not home,
Yes,
therefore no camera.
yes, it was. Um, I'm John's comment in the chat. He watched Fast and Furious 10, and it was a great movie. I will 100% agree. It was a fantastic movie.
A brief recap of what you missed tonight, John. We talked a little bit about some of watched two newly running shows for the summer season. The first episodes of them, including the vending machine one, which surprisingly was better than I was expecting. I went in with very low expectations. The other one that I watched was Classroom for Heroes. I watched the first episode of that. That one has potential.
Yep. Um, I haven't watched any new stuff yet. That's a work in progress. To answer both of the comments in the chat, the answer is yes. Did you guys hear Spice and Wolf is getting a reboot? Yup.
Yep.
We
I'm
kind of touched on that earlier a little bit briefly. And
that was thrown out there with the reboots of Panty and Stocking getting a season 2 and more Black Butler coming out.
And John, I'm right there with you. Fast and Furious 11. Can't wait. That's my guilt. That is one of my very guilty pleasure movie franchise favorites. We actually saw Fast 10. I think opening weekend my house went.
And to beat John to the question, have you seen Show by Rock?
That was good. But no.
Spice and Wolf Ross is one of those like wholesome, cute, feel good storyline animes. Holo is just an amazingly thought out character. I can understand why a lot of people have her as a waifu because in her human female form, bless you, she's very attractive. She's got a lot of charisma. She's just a really like I said, she's just a really well thought out character in the original. Britta Palencia did an amazing job portraying Holo in the English dub. And I'm curious to see if they are going to bring back the original cast or if they're going to have some different ones in there. You know, that's one of the big questions about the reboots. Like with Panty and Stocking getting a season 2, Darren and I were talking about this yesterday about it wouldn't be the same if they didn't bring back the original cast. It would not hit the same. It would not feel the same if you did not have Monica Rial and Jamie Markey as Panty and Stocking. And Ross says apparently they are rebooting because the original cut out the 4th volume of the novel series. Huh? Curious to see what they're going to include in the new Spice and Wolf, and I'm looking forward to some of the new stuff that's going to be coming out. That just means, and here, as I mentioned before, I don't normally cuss on the show, but that just means there's going to be a lot more repent motherfuckers coming out for season 2 of Panty and Stocking.
Well, time's up. I gotta go, says Ross. Well, good night, Ross. Lovely chatting with you.
And we are just about out of time. Speaking of which, it's crazy. This just kind of flew by.
Yeah.
Even though it was a very mismatched, with a very distracting show. Like I said, I'm kind of tired. And then I got news that a friend of ours passed away. Just happened to see that while doing the show. So, and I thank everybody for the concern. But
the tagline Open Chat. So, they should know by now to expect literally anything and everything.
And I think, and kind of glad I didn't have a camera when discovering. For those of you who are longtime listeners of the show, our good friend Jim Taylor, who's been a guest on AZR multiple times, just passed away this weekend. So again, thoughts and condolences go out to his family and his friends. And it was very shocking to see because he was only 60 years old. So I don't know if it was health issues or what, but again, thoughts and condolences go out to him and his family and friends. And now it was an honor to have chatted with him, hung out with him, done conventions with him. And, but life goes on for all of us. And next week, I don't know if I'll be here or not, but the planned guest is Pop Cult Expo. And Angela can have fun chatting with her friends from Pop Cult, talking more about the convention side of things, the events that they just had with the Street Fighter tournament, which I think was this weekend, which is why they wanted to come on next weekend to talk about it.
The Street Fighter event happened a couple of weekends ago.
Oh, okay. So it already happened. So we'll find out more about that. So until next week, when we come back with more entertainment, randomness, and who knows what else will come from these airwaves. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. Thank you to Angela and Darren for joining us as always. Thank you to our sponsors, Home Circle Media, Casey Fox, and Triple S Lawn Care. Thank you to all of you awesome listeners out there. I hope you have a wonderful week. And until next week, this has been Anime-Zing Radio right here on Facebook, YouTube,